Good morning and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to see what I can come up with using this Cherry Crush palette by Colourpop. And this is what the palette looks like. It's pretty red and pinkish, kind of mauve tones. I don't know what I'm going to come up with yet. I have never used like strictly red shades. So I definitely want to use something off this row. Don't know if my whole look's going to be that complete red row, but we'll see what we can come up with. And again, I'm getting ready for work, so it's going to kind of be on the more wearable side, which I'm always doing anyways. So let's just see what I can come up with. Okay, so first, I'm going to use this BH Cosmetics. I think this is a number 12 brush, and it's just a thick, fluffy brush. And I'm going to take the shade out of my Lust for Dust palette, this second shade on the top row, and use it as my transition right below my brow bone, and kind of get away from that wet and wild for a minute. And if y'all notice, I've been on vacation, have a little bit of a tan, not much, so we don't act like we don't see this mark and this one on my ear. If you see it, for some odd reason, when I was at the beach, it just appeared. Because I'm normally pretty good with keeping my skin clean and clear. So we have to work with that to get it off of there. But I'm going to take the shade and this Wild Sky and just stick it in my, like I said, right below my brow bone as a transition shade. And this is a pretty good shade too, because I have been trying to find a shade. I didn't really look too deep, but I picked that palette up and said, let me try something different with another shade. So now I've packed it. Now I'm going to go and blend it in so it does not be patchy. I'm just doing windshield wiper motions and then circular motions, just to make sure the concealer that I used as a base is set and not, still wet and patchy. And this morning I used my CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade Buff Beige as my base this morning. And I've kind of been using a lot of different concealers. Like I said, I'm going to my stash trying to see what I could use differently. And I wasn't able to get a Shop My Stash done this weekend. I'm going to try to, last weekend, because today is Monday. But I'm going to try and get one in this upcoming weekend, hopefully, if I can make that happen. But we'll see. So now I want to keep this look kind of precise, since it's going to be more on the red pinkish side. And since I am going to work, I don't want to be like deep dark red. So we'll see what we can do to keep it on the more lighter red side. So now I want to go with the shade Black Cherry, and that's the shade at the bottom of the middle row this way, but the bottom center shade. How about that shade there? And we're gonna stick it in the outer corner, and I'm gonna pack it a little bit. Oh, it's a red shade. Ooh, have to be careful with this shade this morning. And I'm just gonna continue to pack it, and then I'm packing it in circular motions right now. And just kind of fluff out a little bit on the edges, very lightly. I don't want it to get too carried away with this red. I'm doing the same thing on this side, just packing. Oh, and by the way, I'm using my Morphe 433 brush, so I'll be a little more precise this morning, because normally I'm using that 435, but I'm using this to pack the shade. And then we'll go back in and blend, but right now I just want to pack it so it's not too all over the lid. I'm just packing a little more. I'm actually liking this shade. I'm just flicking those edges. Now I'm going with a little bit more of that shade and pack it again, because I want that deep shade to stand out in my outer V. It's nice. I like that so far. So now I'm gonna go in with this little BH Cosmetics. It's just a little pencil brush, and use any type of pencil brush. This is in the Pro Studio Pro number 17, and I'm gonna take the top matte shade up here and stick it in my crease area before I start blending. I'm gonna place it right above the first shade I placed in my outer V, and I'm just stamping it all the way across, almost to my inner corner. This was a deep shade. These some pigmented red, pink, mauve shades. Okay, so okay. And now I'm just stamping on that outer V and going around. Okay, so now we're gonna do a little blending and see how we can get this thing together. So we're gonna use the same brush. We're not gonna add any more product. We're gonna lightly blend these edges since we placed the shadow pretty much where we want it. And we're gonna lightly blend because my base is still kind of on the wet side, and I don't want it to look patchy. So I'm barely touching my lip, but I'm lightly flicking and blending this shade in circular motions, these edges. That's beautiful. So I'm going to do the same with the other eye. Just lightly, very lightly blend these edges. Because again, like I said, you don't want to move the product around too much, because you don't want it to start breaking up if you didn't set your eyes. And I did not set them this morning with any powder. I just went straight in on the concealer because I wanted the eyeshadow to pop today. And you all, blending is key. So I know it takes a lot of practice when you're trying to do eye looks if you haven't really done them, because I haven't been doing makeup that long either. I just started wearing makeup in like 2014. Now I've worn it, but never like to this extent where I love to wear full glams pretty much every day of the week when I'm going to work. But it took a lot of practice in blending and finding your own technique that works. I follow a lot of channels and watch a lot of channels, but if you find out something works for you, stick with it. I use a lot of techniques and watch how people place the eyeshadows, but if I'm trying to follow somebody's exact steps and it may or may not work, some of the tutorials helped me, and some of them did not work best for me. So I'm hoping I'm able to help some of you all with how to place eyeshadows, and so you can get the look that you're achieving. I'm hoping that, but at the same time, you still have to add some of your own special touches and techniques to it. If it doesn't come out the way you expect it to when you're following someone else's tutorial. That's why on my channel, even though I don't know how to edit a whole lot, you'll see that I won't edit a lot of my videos, especially these tutorials, because I know how difficult it can be trying to follow someone's tutorial and it's fast forwarded, and you trying to actually get that look, and it makes it kind of hard for you to see what they've actually done step by step, if that makes any sense. So on my channel, you probably won't see hardly any of these eyeshadow tutorials edited for that purpose. So now I'm going to take these two shades together, and then we're going to pop it back in the outer V and into the crease, but not where I was blending, just to kind of deepen up that shade area of the eye rather, and put some color back into it. And I'm just going strictly in the crease. We're not placing it where we were blending at. That's pretty. So now what I want to do is, I'm going to try to do a halo eye sometime this week. But I'm going to keep it simple right now because I'm dealing with red. But I think now I want to go in with, I wonder if I should do the pink or the red. I don't know. I am confused with what shimmer shade I want to use. First, let's do this then. While I'm thinking about that, I'm going to go ahead and apply my Base Booster by BH Cosmetics on the back of my hand, my norm. And I guess I can decide while I'm placing this Base Booster on my lids what shade I'm going to pop on there. I think I'm going to do the red. But we'll see. And I'm just popping it on here with my ring finger on my lid. And I'm actually putting it all over my lid this morning, because I'm going to go back in with a little bit of that matte shade to make sure my outer V still pop with some of the matte shade. I'm going to place a little bit more back on there. So now I'm going to go in with, you know what? We're going to do the red shade in the middle just to see how it looks on the eye. And this is what it looks like on my finger, like really, really red. So we're going to place it. Ooh, I like that. Great choice. It's really pretty. Yes, do it. Now, I do have to go back on Colourpop's website. Oh, hold on, my lip. I'm sorry. They have a couple of palettes I don't have. And I probably don't, I know you probably I don't need them. But I think I want to purchase them. We'll see though. I don't have the Barbie collection because I wasn't interested in it first, but when I went to my cousin's house, and she's actually on YouTube. Her name is Prissy Chick. I think that's her name on here, Prissy Chick. Prissy Kelly. I have to go back and look at it and make sure it's correct and give it again. But she has the Barbie collection, and it's really pretty in person. So I kind of wish I would have gotten it then. But with all the other new releases, I just kind of like fell off my radar with purchasing it. But I think I'm going to go back and get it because it's really, really pretty in person. And I should have picked it up, but I did not. So we're going to take this small brush and blend back out these edges. I'm really liking this red. I'm really liking this red. Colourpop did that with this red. It's like really deep red, so it's like really, really pretty. So what I do want to do, I want to kind of top that with this more sparkly shade here at the very first shade in the palette. I want to stick that in the center of my eye to give it that little lighter shade. And I'm going to stick it right on top of that shade. I don't know how much it did, but it's up there. So let's do that. This is like really pretty. And red is deep, like really deep. So I didn't know how this look's gonna come out this morning. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take, just get a clean fluffy brush. Cause again, I don't want it to be like too all over the place cause it's red. I don't want it to be out there. So I'm gonna take my, Makeup Shack T88 brush. It's just a fluffy brush, and blend out these edges with no product on my brush, so they can kind of be it can be transitioned in with this shade that I used in my transition as my transition shade earlier, right below my brow bone. And I'm just blending out these edges so it won't be harsh. And I'm blending in circular motions. And again, we're lightly blending because we don't want to move any other product all over the place or too high. Ooh, it's really pretty. That's pretty. I like the way it's looking. Why am I whispering? I don't know. But that is pretty. But I do want to go back in with this brush that I had a transition shade on. And I'm not going to apply any more shadow. I just want to apply what's left to make sure that is the color is still there that I used as a transition. This is like so pretty. I'm just going to take this little small brush to kind of fill in right here, going in this inner corner up to my crease. And if this video is taking too long, I am sorry. But this red is giving me the work to do this morning. And I am okay with it because it is turning out so pretty. Yep, it is. Just flicking. You talking about pretty? This is really pretty in person. I like it. I think I'm going to stop right there with my eyes. And I am going to do my usual cleanup under my eye area. Ooh, it's really pretty. around my brow area. Are they even? Let's see. One way to find out, go straight across. If they're not, they're gonna have to be. Oh. Okay, I think that should do it. Now, let's zoom you guys in. This is my final look. You know what? Let's do this while I have it zoomed in. I can actually see. And let's blend this lightly. And I'm using this makeup shack brush, but I'm not adding anything else to my eyelid. But let's just make sure this is blended. Yeah. My eye. I'm sorry. But I do like this red. It is so pretty. Like, so pretty. So I'm gonna zoom you guys back out. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face offline. I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna pop lashes. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. So I will finish up my look, and I will be right back to give you guys the final look. See you guys in a bit. I am back with the final look. This is what I came up with. So I'm just gonna kind of go over the additional products I used. I bronzed with the Ace Beauté and mixed all 4 of these shades together to get that bronzing effect. I didn't go too deep this morning because the eyes are so deep. I want to keep the face on a little more lighter bronzy side. But for my lips, I went in with the MAC, I think this, okay, Viva Glam lipstick in the shade. This is Taraji Henson's Viva Glam. I can't read that small writing, I'm sorry. But this is, it's like a fuchsia type shade. And what I did, I topped it with this Morphe Madison's Beer gloss in the shade, I don't see it on here. This is the shade. This is what it looks like, Madison's Beer. And then for my blush today, I used the Wet n Wild Color Icon Baked Blush in the shade Don't Flutter Yourself. And this is a beautiful, you can use it as a highlighter or a blush, but I used this only today. I didn't apply any matte blush. I used this baked blush because I felt like it went really well with this red fuchsia type look we got going on here today. Now for the inner corner eye, well, let's start with the lashes. I popped on the second pair of lashes that I used last week. And I couldn't find the style, and it was right on the video, and it's $6.71. In case I didn't, I know I did not mention the actual style because I didn't realize it was on the packaging until this morning. But it's the Pre-Perm Push Up by Salon Perfect, the medium curl natural lift lashes. In case any of you are interested, these are some very comfortable lashes. Now, I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see my eyes a little bit more. Okay, so what I did do for the final look of my eye, I went in my lower lash line with the shade Take a Bite, which is a deep plummy shade, and went almost to halfway mid center of my eye. And then from the center to the crease, I went in with Juicy Juicy, which is this plummy shimmer shade. And I went in with the shade Sweet Light, which is this shimmery light pink shade. And I stuck it in the inner corner of my eye. And in addition to that, I used my Anastasia because I want to have a little more dimension to this eye and not just a flat fuchsia red type. So I went ahead with my Peach Fizz by Anastasia, this highlight, and you can use any type peachy rose gold type highlight if you have it on hand. Even if you have this blush, it's kind of about the same, a little bit the same tone when you apply it. So what I did was took a little bit of this on a little pencil brush and apply it in my inner corner to give that highlighting effect, because I like for my inner corner to be a little bit bright. I didn't want the eye look to be completely closed in with the fuchsia and red together. But this palette is a must plus. I love it. I will be using it again. These are some beautiful shades in this palette. For the look I came up with, I'm really liking this look. I've never done a red look, but this is like really, really pretty this morning. My lighting is kind of off, but this is what I came up with. So I would recommend this palette if you do not have it in your collection. I do like it. I don't think it's a completely red palette because you have the hot pink fuchsias, the actual red column, and then the plummy shades. But I will recommend it. So I hope you guys like my look this morning, and I will see you guys in my next video.